Sponsored by Providence Holy Cross Medical Center and Comfort Keepers in Home Care. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Thomas Polucki.
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And our first guests this morning, this afternoon, I keep forgetting. We used to come in at 11, but this afternoon is Gloria and Fortine and her hubby, Bruce Fortine. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
See you. So, what are we talking about today?
Well, we're talking about the 4th of July parade. Right, Bruce?
Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
Woohoo.
Yes. But before that, we have some preliminary events. For example, the Rotary breakfast. And you know, the Rotary Club of Santa Clarita of Newhall has been doing this for decades.
Oh, absolutely decades.
And the food is incredible.
Oh, it is.
That's right.
Very
Pancakes and sausage and, well, you name it. And so you have to come to that.
So where is that going to be?
So that is near the roundabout where the old
The golf
golf
yeah,
store,
yeah,
yes.
down at the end of the
At the-
Main Street, yeah.
Exactly, end of Main Street. They're right there in that area, and there's a little parking lot there too. So they start early, so get there, before 7, and have a nice breakfast before the parade starts.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, it's cool.
While it's cool.
Yeah.
And then after that, our street closures are early because there is a 10K and a 5K
Wow.
going on. So so there's a lot of activities going on, but people just need to get there early and get their spot, and also.
And that's a race. For you people who don't know about 10Ks and 5Ks, it's an athletic thing, and it's tough.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be so hot tomorrow, and that's why we want to warn everybody. It's going to be a hot day, so please bring water. At the announcers' booths, we'll have water, but it won't be cold. But yeah, to be prepared, shade, hats, lots of water, and think about your pets. If you're thinking of bringing your pets, your dog, I really seriously would say no. It's just going to be so hot that the cement and the asphalt gets very, very hot. So yeah, take care of your pets.
And don't leave them in a car.
Yeah, don't leave them in the car.
Please don't leave
Yeah.
them in the car.
So we've had many. I think this is going to be our 91st anniversary parade. Bruce remembers it way back.
In 1964, I was the parade chairman.
Wow.
And in those days, we had more horses than cars.
That's right.
Seriously. It's just the 60s, Bruce. I mean, there were cars back in the 60s.
Yeah, there were.
Not in my parade.
Very few of them, though.
Yeah. So, but this year, we have about 108 entries, and which is
108?
normally
That's about.
about what we have, which is great. But this year we will not have horses, so there's not an equestrian.
And the
division.
reason
Yeah,
that we
it's too hot.
can't have horses is we must have a veterinary person on call.
Sure.
And we could not put that together.
Yeah.
And so we had to eliminate horses.
That's a shame because
Yes.
that makes a parade when
Yes.
you've got horses.
Yes.
It really does.
Yes, it is.
Oh, my goodness.
And the other issue is a safety issue
Sure.
right now.
Yes, strictly.
And so that's why no horses this year. But we have everything else from drumline to beauty princesses to antique cars and you name it. It's going to be a great parade. And this year, actually we've never done this, but our Grand Marshal is going to be our city manager, Ken Striplin.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's a first.
That is a first. That is a
Whoa.
first. So
I bet he's excited, isn't he?
yes, he is excited. I mean, this is what an honor, right? What an honor.
Yeah, so Gloria, what's the path of the parade going to be? So where do people go to get a good seat?
Oh, you have
A
to
good
bring your own
space.
seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring your a low seat, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so you don't block anyone. But the parade starts at the roundabout, right here, Old San Fernando Road, now called Main, but at the roundabout, and then it comes right in front of KHTS, right, and then straight to the library, and then the parade hangs a left there on Lyons, and then it goes all the way to Old Orchard Village Road, and it makes a right there, and then the last turn is at Dalby, and Dalby Street, and that Dalby takes you into Newhall Park. And
Gotcha.
that's the end. So I'd say it's about, what, a mile and a half, Bruce?
Oh, to me, it sounds like 10 miles.
Yeah,
Yes, especially if you're walking. And
yeah, that's more than a mile.
yeah,
yeah.
so a mile
Yeah,
and a
it
half
is.
or
It's
so,
a mile
mile
and a
and
half.
3/4, yeah. So yes, so we're very especially if you're walking. You're right. It seems like a long time, but that's so it's not. Yeah, I don't know what the average parade lengths are, but it's a good run there. Good walk, that parade. But and then we encourage everyone, to not walk across the road,
front.
not to throw anything at anyone, like silly string,
Sure.
which is illegal. And not to do any of that, and the people on the floats are not going to be throwing any candy at the audience. I mean,
Right.
so we'll have people who want to give things. They'll just run out to the crowd.
And we have undercover candy people. Be watching for you.
Yeah, they'll be exactly our army of-
ready to put cuffs on
Yes.
you.
exactly. But tell them about the sheriff's foundation and
Well,
captain.
last year, the Sheriff's Foundation distributed ice cream.
Yes, I
And they
remember
had,
that.
I think, 1,800,
Paletas.
really the most incredible ice cream ever. This year, 3,000.
Wow,
So
that's a lot of ice cream.
they'll be walking, the sheriff's
Whoa.
deputies will be handing out on the parade route, and it is well worth it.
Yes, and Captain Justin Diaz will be
Yes. He's
at the helm,
leading the parade.
leading the parade. So, we'll have, we have, just various things going on. But Bruce, why don't you talk about fireworks?
Oh my.
Okay.
Fireworks is something you don't want to participate with except going to the ball.
Yeah.
And if you have purchased fireworks, better take them to the authorities for disposal. And the fine for these kind of things range from anywhere from $1,000 to $50,000, and or possible jail time.
Jail time.
And, the entire Santa Clarita Valley is in a red zone, which means wildfires.
Yeah.
And so a spark from a sparkler can travel a mile.
Oh, absolutely, it can, especially when you have a little bit of wind, and it
Yes.
doesn't take much wind.
And the good thing about Santa Clarita is we are surrounded by beautiful trees. And the worst thing about Santa Clarita is we are surrounded by beautiful trees.
Yeah.
And if you've looked at your insurance bill lately, well, take another look if you've still got it. Because insurance companies are canceling people.
So we are recommending that, we have a fireworks display at the town center, and which will happen. And, forget your personal fireworks, getting anything like that. Just go see the beautiful fireworks.
Well, you can see them all over
Yes.
the
Yeah.
valley, even in your front yard. you
That's
can
right.
see them. They're beautiful.
They are beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful.
So, and that will be safe. And along with that, we actually have the KHTS will be, you can listen to a soundtrack while you're watching the fireworks. So that'll be beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, if you've ever done that, we do that, and it's just beautiful to see, to hear and see it. You know, so that's what we would recommend, to please do that. And fireworks at the Valencia Town Center start at 9:15, and they do a beautiful job. I mean,
They really do.
The city does a beautiful
And one thing
job.
that I would suggest, that if you have pets, definitely keep them inside,
Yeah.
but also put them in an area where you can play music,
Yeah.
and it will help drown out the sound,
Yes.
the
Yes.
bangs of the
And there will be a
fireworks.
lot of those. Well, I know that some of the people in my neighborhood, they're going to be doing fireworks
See,
in the
and
street.
that's in the
Totally.
street, yeah.
That's what they're going to be doing.
Exactly.
What's your address? I'll send the sheriff,
Yeah, really.
send the fire department.
But I think Tom can relate. I mean, he has, you
Yeah.
know, dogs, and
The dogs don't like it. They don't
no.
understand. It's
They
it's terrifying.
It's
for them.
yeah, and it's deafening.
You always see
Really
the
is.
next day or the next couple of days all the posters of all the dogs that ran away and
Yes.
freaked out, and a lot of the time they don't get them back. It's horrible.
That's right.
it is.
You know, I mean, everybody likes fireworks, but you know that's something that let the pros handle it.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even there are like sparklers or some, you know, fireworks that say safe and sane, but
They're not.
they're not.
No,
You
they
know,
aren't.
so-
Those sparks can go. Oh my goodness, they
They
can
will
really
travel.
be
Sparks
destructive.
do fly.
And
Yes.
they're noisy too. I mean, you know, and so yeah, we have the fire department and their vehicles in the parade, and you know, but they're at the ready to pull out
Yes.
if they get a call.
And same thing with the sheriff's
Same
department.
thing with the sheriff's department.
If there's an incident, they've got to go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I think in the past in my community, I've seen the sheriff's cars up and down the street. You know, just they
Yes.
do. They're in the neighborhood.
They are looking.
No matter where you are in Santa Clarita, they will be in the neighborhood.
Yes.
They will be. They've
Yeah.
done it for the last, I can't remember when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Even in
I've
our
seen
area.
And,
Yeah.
you know, Santa Clarita is not the only area. It's all of Los Angeles County.
Oh, yes.
Actually, it's the state of California.
Yeah. We've had a very wet winter, and now all of that is just a powder keg ready to go.
It's gone.
Exactly.
And we don't want to give any excuses for a major fire.
We do not. We do not.
No,
want
because
to.
we don't have any green mountains anymore. They're
Yeah,
all
that's right.
brown.
They are brown.
They're all brown.
And you know, I mean, you know, Barbara, you were saying, you know, you're hearing them all over, but people can report this to there's actual number. All fireworks, you know, because they're illegal, you can report firework use to 661-260-4000 or santaclarita.gov /fireworks. So you can report that, you know, and hopefully they can get right to it. But I do want to take time to also thank all the volunteers, you know, on the parade committee who work hard, and we work with the city. City's taken a larger role in our parade, which is wonderful. But we have from judges to our announcers, and Bruce and I co-chair the announcers, and so we'll have you know, announcers you know, throughout the route. And we're actually going to announce as well, so we're not off the hook.
Been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah, more than that.
Or more than one.
Remember Connie Wharton Roberts? Yeah, we were on her committee.
You know, one thing I'd like to mention about the fireworks, the biggest problem with fireworks is that it harms people. And
Very true.
it's amazing how many people have lost fingers and limbs and have been killed by fireworks. and hospitals are ready with emergency care. You just don't want your kids playing with like a sparkler or fireworks of any kind, because sometimes they're made in China and they're not safe. If they're made anywhere in the U.S., they're not safe unless they have been certified. So please don't do it. It's not worth the life of your child.
No, it isn't. And the possible blindness and the burned faces.
Yes.
No, I agree. It's not worth it. Absolutely not. Let them look. That's fine. Let them look
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
only.
And the fireworks at the mall are far superior.
Oh, yeah.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, and they're far enough away. It's
Yes.
handled safely and professionally.
That's right.
You know, even the fallout from a firework, like it could go off hundreds of feet in the air, but it could drop a hot cinder.
Oh, yes.
And if you're looking up watching, you know, the one that went off before could be dropping down the ashes and mess you up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
That's
if
right.
there's any kind of breeze,
Yes.
they're going to get blown.
They are.
And that will keep the light on. That will keep them burning.
Oh, yes. And in this heat.
Yes.
And the people that are pyrotechnicians at the mall are definitely aware of wind, and they may eliminate some parts of it because of the wind.
Yeah.
So,
They are definitely
And-
pros.
you know, it's supposed to be 103 degrees
Ouch.
tomorrow.
I hope it's not 103 degrees at 9:15. That would
That's
be
right.
bad.
Yes, right.
Exactly. Yeah,
Put
we
your order
hope
in
not.
early.
We hope not.
Oh.
But yes, I also want to take the time to thank our sponsors. You know, because things just don't happen without some great sponsors. So obviously, our sponsor, City of Santa Clarita, SEV TV, Family and Friends of Dwayne Hardy, KHTS AM 1220, FM 98.1, Panorama Towing, and the William S. Hart Park. So we thank them for being sponsors this year.
That's a great lineup. Very fine people.
Yes, it really is. And one other one that I should also add is Shadowbox. They just came in as sponsors, so we thank them, and we thank all of the businesses along Main Street and Lyons and so forth. You know, and many of them are going to be open. You know, so you can get your little snack, coffee, whatever.
Drinks, yes.
Yeah, drinks. You know.
Remember to hydrate.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, a lot of water, a lot of liquid. So that's important.
That's
Yeah.
important anyway,
Anyway,
Yes.
regardless
Yes.
of the heat, but more so when it's hot.
And it's hot.
More
I
so.
carry a little bottle.
Oh,
around with
yes.
water.
I've got a big one here.
Yeah, you got a big one. Yeah,
You're ready to go.
exactly. So we just really hope for a happy and safe, very safe 4th of July. Yeah.
And it will be.
Yeah.
It will be. I think people will be more aware of what's going on around them.
Yeah.
You know, the people of
Because-
Santa Clarita are truly incredible
Yes,
in
absolutely.
all areas.
Yeah.
I would never leave here to go anywhere else. I will die here.
Why would you move to Florida?
Not anytime soon, but
Move to
I
Florida
will.
and get a hurricane or a tornado.
No, they can have those
Yes.
back there.
Oh.
I don't
and
want
it, and
those.
it's just a bad hair day every day.
There you go.
Oh yes, that is for sure. But
Okay, so Bruce, Gloria, thank you so much for your work in helping make this 4th of July parade happen. It starts 7 a.m. at the roundabout at the end of Main for the
9
Rotary
oh,
breakfast.
for the Rotary
For the
breakfast.
Rotary
Yes,
breakfast.
yes.
You
Even
can't miss
before.
that.
Good stuff.
And then the route of the parade goes all the way up Main, makes a left on Lyons up to Old Orchard and turns in at Dalby. So anywhere along that path, pick a spot and you'll have a good view of
They're
the
all
parade.
good seats.
Yeah, thank you
Yes.
so much for joining
Yes.
us today.
Thank you,
and
Tom.
Thank you for all your
It was
work on the
terrific.
parade.
Our
You're
pleasure.
listening to the Senior Hour, KHTS, FM 98.1, AM 1220, hometownstation.com.
When I'm 64.
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Thomas Polucki, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And our guest now is the one and only Cardon Ellis from Unipest. And what is Unipest?
Ooh, we are a pest control company.
Yes.
We're super glad to be here. I've been bragging to all my friends I was going to hang out with Barbara this afternoon.
And chop liver.
Yeah, that's true.
And do what?
Nothing.
Oh, all right.
So, all right. So I got a couple questions for you. First of all, have you seen The Beekeeper?
Oh, the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. No, I've only seen trailers.
Yeah, it's good.
We
It's
talked
good.
about that last time,
I'm
too.
gonna wait until you see it. So
Is it
we'll have
on
some- yeah,
local?
it's on Prime now. It's on
Have
Prime.
you seen the documentary with David Beckham, who is a beekeeper and
No.
harvests his own honey?
Wow, that's awesome.
David Beckham, he's your fellow Englishman.
Yeah.
I
Married
didn't know
Victoria.
that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, spice.
Posh Spice.
Spicy.
Yeah. So no, I haven't seen it. Why? Come on, you
It's
got to
good.
tell me now.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. So,
I just removed a
bees
beehive.
are tangential to the whole thing.
Oh, okay,
like,
cool,
it's
yeah,
just
rock on.
a straight a movie. He just kills
I
everybody.
I just removed the most insane beehive from a pepper tree in Central Park. Yeah,
From
one
a
of the
pepper tree.
yeah, one of the craziest, most aggressive beehives I've ever touched.
Because
was
they're
boom.
living in pepper, yeah.
Yeah, for real.
They're spicy.
Oh dear, don't get stung by a bee.
You know the California
don't.
pepper tree? The California pepper tree is literally not even from California. It's an Andean tree that's from South America.
Right on.
And it lives up in the Andes. That's why it hates water and it does so well here, is because you don't really have to irrigate it too much. But yeah, whenever the limbs fall, they end up getting this kind of this cavity in which bees can come in and they create these hives. And I mean, and it's nuts.
Yeah.
And it was covered with roaches too, because there was a bunch
Ooh.
of, yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, the roaches are
you-
going nuts right now. Have you seen them?
You were in the right place, weren't you? The right
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So
Yes, I
thankfully
have
we-
seen the roaches.
We haven't seen so many roaches, but we do have a serious ant issue. Ants on parade, like it is major. It's
Really?
major. Yeah.
Oh, and
out of
there's
control.
I'm seeing a lot more of the thief ants. They're called. Do you know the difference between all the ants in Santa Clarita?
No,
Do tell.
I don't have ants. I haven't seen any ants in ages.
no, it is
That's
so cool.
because Unipest's been at your house.
Oh yeah, no, they're coming out. They're coming out like crazy, and you're going to notice 3 predominant kinds here. Okay, so
Small, I hope.
well,
Some
there's
of them are not so small.
yeah,
Really?
some of them are huge, but the really really small ones are actually kind of hard to get rid of. It's nuts. Like what'll happen is you'll spray and then they'll break up, and it's kind of like playing Meteor, that old 1960s video game, where you shoot in from the spaceship the meteor and it splits into 2, and then now you got 2 meteors flying around, and you shoot that one and it splits into 2 more, so now you've got 8 floating around.
I don't know what the heck you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a cool video game from like the
Asteroid,
70s.
not Meteor.
Asteroid. Oh, sorry, I'm right. You're right. It was called Asteroid. So when you spray the ants, there's some species of ants that will actually just kind of disperse as a survival mechanism. Okay. The biggest ones we have here are Argentine ants. You get black ants, which are just the common big black ones that you see. Red ants, which are the common big red ones that you see out when you're like hiking in Towsley Canyon. So you got Argentine ants, black ants, red ants. You got harvester ants that are in the trees here that you see. And they've got very powerful mandibles, and they can actually kind of like bite you, and it hurts a little bit when they get you. Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
These kind of trees? Well, what about fir trees? Do they?
Yeah, well, what happens is fir trees and oak trees, they shed, If you ever walk underneath an oak tree, you're sometimes walking on, like, really thick carpet, practically, because they got all of those leaves at the base of the roots and everything. Well, those leaves actually have a mitochondria inside of them. They actually have their own kind of bacterial ecosystem that helps the roots and helps the trees. So you're actually supposed to let the tree have a pretty thick layer of those leaves, and it'll be really healthy as long as it's not around the base of the trunk where it's called girdling. But you'll see these lines of these ants going up into the trees, and sometimes if you step on the wrong part, like they'll start crawling up their legs, and yeah, they like their mandibles are pretty strong. They'll like bite you, and it kind of hurts.
Well, I have those tall pine trees all around my backyard.
Yeah.
The bite hurts when they do it, and the small ones you can't even feel the bite. But even the small ones, when they sting you, it can itch for days.
Yeah. So here's what's cool: is have you ever seen the ants that were used as stitches by the indigenous people?
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to take literally like
Make them bite you and then snap
cuts.
the head off.
Yeah, and then they'd bite you and seal it, and they'd snap the head off. It was pretty nuts.
Well, do these creatures eat snakes?
Oh, look at that. Yeah,
That
no,
was
so,
in my backyard Saturday night.
yeah, so you've got a
Well, 5
mama
of 'em there.
raccoon with one,
yeah.
2, 3, 4 young. That's pretty common. I just was dropping a friend off at the Hyatt across from the mall, and they had a whole family of like 5 or 6 of them that jumped into the irrigation ditch, like that whole, where it says like,
Yeah, well,
this drain leads to the ocean.
There's a big one. She's
Yeah, so it's springtime right now, and they're breeding like crazy.
Yeah.
And those aren't old enough to go off on their own, so they're still following mama around. But what's nuts is you'll notice how
well,
she was
look
standing.
at this. The opossum.
Yeah, that's a possum right there. Yeah.
And there's a skunk.
Well, do you live in a zoo, or do you live in
No,
like what?
I live across from Friendly Valley in the Princess Housing Tract.
Really?
And
Oh,
the
friendly one.
coyotes run up and down the street like crazy.
Well, when they got food like that rolling
Yeah.
around, it's a smorgasbord.
But
It's a buffet.
That's a beautiful animal, though.
You know what I bet's going on? I don't know what it is, but you live in a 55 plus community.
No,
Oh, you
that's
don't?
across the street.
Oh, that's across the street. Okay, cool.
Across the highway.
Dude,
actually.
there's always one. Like, sometimes I
I
get
threw rocks. I was throwing rocks at him. I didn't want him in there,
You
and he finally turned around and went away.
they can spray you from like 25 feet away, right?
Oh, you could smell it. I had to close my door. I had to take off.
Yeah, because
my-
you're throwing rocks at him.
Get off my lawn!
I don't care how elderly you are. You're throwing rocks at me, man. I'll spray you. I'll squirt you with a squirt gun. You know what I'm saying?
But what a beautiful animal, though. Look, he's gorgeous.
Well, have
He
you
may
ever
be
seen
a
them as
skunk.
pets? Have you ever seen them as pets?
No.
Oh,
I've
they
had-
make the coolest pets.
So do raccoons.
Yeah,
I've
skunks.
had a raccoon as a pet. Oh.
Wait, you had a pet raccoon?
Oh yes.
Is that like a British thing, or is that just like a crazy
No,
Santa
I
Clarita
had-
lady thing?
It was this was a long time ago when they
Okay.
were selling them at the stores.
Shut up!
No, they were selling them at pet stores.
Do tell. I gotta know.
They were.
Huh.
Wait, just selling raccoons at pet stores?
Yes.
You know, that makes sense, though, because before the Endangered Species Act was passed, I think in 1964, my grandpa owned a pet store, and my mom grew up with a spider monkey that would eat at their table with a diaper. Yeah, he was, like, allowed to just run around the house.
Ferrets were big too. Yeah.
Yeah, ferrets were a big one. Oh, actually, what's really funny is I've been to the city hall meetings where, like, the ferret owners of America have, like, fought for their rights.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, like, they get up and they're like, we want to shed the stigma of this beautiful animal that has been, it's actually really, really funny, and I love it. And, like, I made a good argument. I would have voted in their favor.
But my raccoon's name was Bandit, obviously.
Wait,
But
so
she
what did you
used to
feed
see
him?
I got food from the pet store,
Yeah.
Okay.
and they would eat lettuce.
Lettuce?
She would eat
Okay.
lettuce and celery. She loved celery, but I had to take all the strings off the celery. But she used to sleep in my bed.
They
on-
love
on my
cat
pillow.
food.
So it's like a hippie
Oh, yeah, they-
raccoon? Your poor thing
Oh,
was
she was
eating
she was a
kale and
sweetheart.
avocado toast?
She really was. She was an absolute sweetheart.
Oh, how long did it live?
Well, I had to when Russ moved in, he didn't want the animal there. It was either animal or him. So I took her to.
Okay,
the
no, but now
pet
what about
store.
the fecal matter? Did you potty train it, or?
Oh yeah, it had its own potty box. 'Cause
Wow.
it stayed in the house.
That is so interesting.
And
And
the
it-
only time I would let it go out is if I put a collar and a leash on it.
so
take
you would literally just walk a raccoon
Yeah.
down the street.
Yeah.
That is so cool. See, when I was in kindergarten, somebody showed up with a pet raccoon, but it was like one of those like wildlife people that you get from like Placerita Nature Center or something. So I didn't know if it was that normal of a thing, but
Oh, I loved
hashtag
my,
normalize raccoon.
I loved my
husbandry.
bandit. She was a sweetheart, absolute sweetheart, and so lovable.
Okay. Wow.
She was so she would come up here and put her head right here, and we'd sit around in the backyard or in the house and what have you.
So I'm not going to tell you what we do with raccoon infestations that are causing fleas and ringworm. We'll just move on. What about skunks?
All I'm just telling you is my baby raccoon was an absolute sweetheart. She was potty trained. And you're right, she ate cat food.
Yeah.
But she
they love
also
it.
ate lots of lettuce.
Would you get a skunk if I could bring you a skunk and we could degland the skunk? Do you want a skunk as a pet?
I wouldn't mind one.
Yeah,
but
they're actually really
my
cool.
kids would have an absolute fit. No, absolutely not.
Well, so here's why you never, ever, 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 ever want to cross a wildlife person the wrong way, right? I've never done this myself, but these are these apocryphal stories that you hear in the profession that we all hope are true. You know what I'm saying? But that gland that causes the nasty smelling stuff on skunks is unique to skunks. It's not a urinary tract. It's not seminal fluid. It's not reproductive organ. It's just unique to skunks as their defensive mechanism, right? And it smells horrible.
Oh,
but
yeah,
what's
and it's a
interesting,
definite defensive mechanism.
yeah,
Oh,
total defense mechanism. But you can degland that skunk, and that gland is just an organic pouch. And I was at a training once, and this person will remain nameless, all right? But apparently, the guys that degland skunks, right, they hold on to them. And if you ever bother them and they don't like you, they'll go by their house and they'll throw it in your garage. And then it just sits there until it finally dissolves and decomposes. And then poof, when it ruptures, you just can't use that garage. You got to straight up just
it's
pull up the
horrible.
cement
It's
and
horrible.
exfoliate the drywall. Like, it's horrible. So never ever cross, never ever cross a guy that deals with skunks. That's nuts.
Yeah, our dogs got hit by I think a full dose spray. Like they came in, they were foaming at the mouths. They were like, trying to rub on everything. The house stunk for days just from them rubbing on stuff, but you could still smell it on the dog, no matter how many times you wash it, no matter what, the tomato sauce and all that stuff. None of it descents it. So a year later, you could still smell skunk on them. It's
Dude,
horrible.
yeah, that's
it's
brutal,
hardcore.
man. But they're super cute.
I thought you were going to say, like, there's some kind of, like, black market trade for those glands. I was like,
well, no, they do use them in musk and perfume in some
Yeah.
countries.
Yeah,
So there's a market for this. Same with emus. People grow emus here in Santa Clarita. They kind of look like ostriches.
yeah.
Because they're used as a catalyst in hand cream for ladies. That's one of the number of reasons why emu oil is used.
I don't like emus.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They're nasty
not,
birds.
They're not very pleasant birds to
Yeah.
be around.
They'll bite you, they'll scratch you.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I can't think of something
Not to be
more,
trifled with.
I can't think of something more just disappointing than when you look off and just say like, "Oh, I don't like X."
No.
It's just
I
like
know,
it's the most disheartening thing.
Soul-shattering.
It's the most soul-shattering thing is just to have Barbara
Disappointed.
look with just a tiny amount of disdain and say like, "Oh, I don't like." If I ever got to a point where you just said, "Oh,
You can have all the emus in the world. I don't like them.
emus around the world right now are just
They're-
shaken to their cores."
No, they're vicious. They really are. They're vicious creatures.
Really?
Yes.
What did the emu do to you, Barbara? Oh, it got you, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Oh, snap. Okay.
I won't go near them again.
Oh, was it here or was it
no,
somewhere
it was
else?
here. It was, I don't know, wherever it was out. Somewhere in
My
San
sister got
Antonio.
attacked by a mini horse once.
A mini horse.
Yeah, she will never live it down. It is a family legend now. But one day she was trying to help out with this. There was a local charity that it does like equestrian therapy for at-risk youth and everything. Wonderful organization. And she was volunteering there. And one of the things you have to do when you volunteer is carry the heavy buckets of meal, dump it
yeah.
into the meal area, make sure that all the little water barrels are filled up with water. And you just do kind of the ranch hand stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Housework for a ranch.
Yeah, housework for a ranch. So she's walking out. She's got the big boots on, but I don't think they exactly fit her quite right. I think they were a little bit big because she was flopping around them. And as she was walking down a little hill, she slipped and she kind of fell down, but she got back up. But she startled the mini horse. And the mini horse didn't like it.
Oh,
so the mini horse came up and straight up head butted her off. Or did something. I don't remember what it was, but she found herself slipping again in these rubber boots with these pails of grain and feed, right? And then the mini horse just didn't like her, so he started rearing up and then thumping her on the ground.
Oh, my
and it's a mini
goodness.
horse, so it didn't do much. But so she's sitting there screaming as a mini horse terrorizes her in San Francisco Canyon. And it's one of those things where I'm sure it was scary when it happened to her in the moment. But to this day, whenever we see a little diminutive mini horse, yeah, we tell people watch out, watch out, Julie. There's a mini horse. Fun thought about mini horses, and we never got to our subject that we were going to talk about, but I do have to tell you this one because I think you'll appreciate it. Guide Dogs of America?
Yeah.
Lovely organization. We raised two
yes.
guide dogs, right? Okay. They have seriously considered training mini horses as guide dogs because they live a lot longer. How long you've had a dog, right? What's the longest any of your dogs have lived? You've got German Shepherds, Labrador, these mid-sized dogs that are very intelligent that can be guide dogs. Takes them, a year or two to train, and then they only live another 7 or 8 years. But a blind person might live into their 70s, their 80s, their 90s. So you're having to train 10 dogs for the lifetime of one of these people that needs a service animal, right? Well, horses, dude, they'll live 30 or 40, right? So you may only need 2 guide mini horses because they're also smart enough to pull the job off. So how cool
I
would
can't
that be?
imagine. No, I would not want that.
Oh, come on. If you don't have to use a walker and you could use 2 mini horses, we just
No,
saw
I've
Barbara.
got my 2 canes. That's fine for me.
You don't think it would be awesome to see Barbara walking down the street across from Friendly Valley and there's 2 straight up mini horses we knew you were coming because you could hear the neigh of the horses.
We'll be right back. You're listening to the Senior Hour KHTS FM 98.1 AM 1220 hometownstation.com.
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Thomas Polucki, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're speaking with Cardon Ellis of Unipest. Now, what is Unipest?
We're a pest control company. We're like the Ghostbusters of bugs.
Who are you going to call?
Yeah.
Ghostbusters of bugs.
Yeah, exactly. You got a problem with your 4th of July barbecue? We show up, boom, make sure everything goes good. Got mosquitoes? We show up, get rid of the mosquitoes.
Flies.
Flies.
I had a
same.
mosquito in my house last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Little
snap.
teeny tiny one, and I squashed it.
Oh,
Because it was it was around me.
throwing
as I
rocks
was
at
sitting-
skunks, crushing mosquitoes.
You're a vicious woman. We're going to start calling you the Terminator, man.
But I love raccoons, as you can see in my backyard.
There you
Well,
go.
good
5
for
of
them,
them.
man. Jeez.
Oh, yeah. Well, when you have a pet raccoon,
Yeah.
I mean, they're so lovable.
Oh, it
And,
changes you.
Oh, it really does. I would not harm those animals in my backyard. Not at all.
No.
But you would harm a skunk
Yes,
and
I
a
would.
mosquito.
You spoke with certain animus towards those
Yeah,
opossums, too.
Extreme
So-
prejudice.
Yeah, exactly. Straight up brutal, man. You know what I'm saying?
But overall, I am an animal lover.
Okay. I believe that.
Yes, I am an animal lover.
Is that why you're getting those 2 mini horses? You know?
All right, So Cardon, if someone's planning a party for 4th of July, and
Yes.
obviously at least part of it's going to be outside.
Well, then they got to call me for one of two reasons.
Okay, go.
One, I can help get rid of the bugs. Two, I don't have plans this weekend. And I could use a party or two, you know what I'm saying? Santa Clarita is not notorious for going off the hizzy, but they do they buy the expensive meat, and you might get some good, some New York strip steak or something like that at one of these barbecues.
Okay, so we're out, so we have a veggie fest.
Oh, okay. Bummer.
Sorry.
Well, here's what you do bug-wise is actually just the name of the game in Santa Clarita for just making almost all your pest problems go away is actually
Unipest.
just but just signing up for a regular mosquito control service. Like, it is so cool because once you've done the service necessary to get rid of mosquitoes, you pretty much get rid of everything else. Okay, like if you got ants, spiders, so on and so forth. Like, so with ants, we put this backpack sprayer on, and we've got a bunch of eco-friendly products that we use. Yeah, we actually do look like Ghostbusters with that backpack.
Nice.
And we'll go around and we'll spray the bases of the trees. We'll go along the cracks and the crevices surrounding the house. We'll find where the actual ant colonies are. And the way you keep ants outside of the house, coming and getting your food, your hot dogs, you know, so on and so forth, is by finding those colonies and kind of destroying them at the source, right? But we found that with mosquitoes, if you go and we've got this big fogger and it sprays this awesome mosquito product that's, you know, it's a mixture of all kinds of different active ingredients, but the majority of them are actually essential oils, okay? And just the repellent nature of these things and the pesticidal nature of these things and the frequency with which we do it kind of helps get rid of everything else. So you know how, like, at a barbecue, sometimes you'll have mosquitoes, sometimes you have those crane flies, sometimes there's a million and one different things that you'll have, and it's just like, ugh, I want to get rid of this, right? If you're on mosquito control, boom, almost all of it is taken care of simultaneously, and it's all, dude, it is night and day difference. So I have people now call me like a day or two before the barbecues, and then we spray them, and it's super fun. That's like, and like they just have the best barbecue ever. It's
No
pretty cool.
flies.
Yeah, flies. It totally helps and knock down with flies. Flies is generally a problem with moisture and with dog poop. So if you clean up your dog poop and you don't have moisture, that helps. But our actually spray, yes, it does totally help out with flies. It's
That's
awesome.
awesome. So give us your contact.
It's super simple. It's 661-BUG-7575. That's 661-284-7575.
Cardon with Unipest, thank you so much. You've been listening to the Senior Hour, KHTS FM 98.1 AM 1220, hometownstation.com. We're brought to you by Comfort Keepers, our flagship sponsor forever, and Providence Holy Cross. Now, go out and have some fun on the 4th of July. Try to stay cool, Santa Clarita.